Hey there, Delmarva. Happy Friday.
Woo woo!
Yes.
We made it.
Yes, we did.
Barely, but we made it.
It was this close. Yes, we made it to Friday. Thank you for joining us. We are your hosts. I'm Paige Marley.
I'm Leah Rizzo, and the Delaware State Fair is underway, which we love. One of our favorite times of year, even though it's always hot.
Yes.
Like, that's how you know State Fair season is upon us, when it's hot and it's muggy, and there's so many cool things to check out at the State Fair this year, between the concerts, the food, the entertainment. There's always something going on.
Oh my gosh, the food is so good.
I know.
Oh, I love it.
Do you have a favorite State Fair snack, or maybe something that surprised you?
The alligator mac and cheese. Don't get mad at me. I had to try it. And I liked it so much that it made me mad, and I promised never to eat it again. But I might have to take another bite.
I'm gonna have to take a little snack, a little
Isn't
trip.
that terrible of me? But I loved it.
Yeah. Well, I think I felt that way. I tried chocolate-covered bacon at the Delaware State
Yum.
Fair once, right? And I just, like, in my brain, I couldn't compute that would work, because I was like, chocolate and it didn't make sense in my mind. But then you kind of got that salty, sweet, and it was crispy bacon. So I was like, it threw me, but it worked.
Delish.
It was. So don't be afraid to try new things at the Delaware State Fair this year.
Yes. Yeah, let us know what you tried.
But we always like talking about what you are talking about. As we all know, Barbie has hit movie theaters this weekend, the Barbie movie. So if you were a Barbie doll collector as a kid, you may want to revisit those, because it looks like the price of Barbie dolls is actually going up because of the popularity of the Barbie movie.
I believe it, and I think it's funny because we've talked so much about, you know, the color pink, right? Has been like selling out at stores everywhere, and like paint, just everything. And then I kind of forgot that, oh yeah, actual Barbie dolls themselves might get affected by the Barbie movie. So it makes sense that they are really jumping up in value.
I think they're saying particularly any of the ones with like the really big hair from the 80s or 90s seem to be especially popular for some reason. I think that's sort of the looks that Margot Robbie was going for too in the film. So that may have something to do with it. But I mean, it also, as much as it hurts, 80s and 90s are considered vintage.
We're vintage?
We're vintage, girl.
That's tough.
But we had this thought downstairs before we came up here to do the show about, you know, if it was your parents that bought you those Barbies growing up, should they be the ones allowed to sell them for money, or is it you? Because like they bought them for you, but it was their money in the first place.
That's a great point. We may have to split. Although my Barbies are like, I can't sell those for anything. I mean, they are used up. They are not in the box. Probably patches of hair missing, like the whole thing.
I never had a mint condition anything, because we played with all of the stuff we had. None of it stayed in the box.
No,
like,
we dunked them in the pool, like everything. They are worn out. Had our fun, but no.
I think the only toy that I feel like we had that we didn't really ever get into as much was the Easy Bake Oven. I think that was one that we had that we just didn't use.
The Easy Bake Oven was so good, but do you think in the future it's going to come out like if you ate Easy Bake Oven food,
100%.
you qualify for XYZ?
Yeah, exactly. There's no way it wouldn't.
No regrets, though. No regrets. It was delicious.
Here's something that we came across as well that was just, it was very jarring, I guess, in terms of a profession that some people are out there. You know, influencers, they're always getting creative with all kinds of stuff. And what influencers are doing now, and this struck me as somebody who grew up playing video games, just really, really funny. Do you know what NPCs are?
No.
So NPCs in a video game are the non-playable characters.
Okay.
Like you've got the character that you're playing as, and then there's all sort of the background characters where, like, you know, there's a guy fishing, and every time you walk up to talk to him, he says, "The fish are really biting today." And like, you go back again, and he's like, "The fish are really biting today."
Yeah, so like Animal Crossing. That makes sense. Okay, I know Animal Crossing.
Yeah, something like that. So so there are influencers on TikTok that are basically role-playing as NPCs, and viewers pay them, tip them, and the tip will come through as like an emoji. So say, for example, like they tip them an ice cream, like they send them a gift of ice cream, and then that influencer will say, "Ice cream's so good. Oh, ice cream's so good." Like every time they get tipped for ice cream. They're making up to $3,000 per stream for this.
For just repeating the same.
Yes.
And doing that little, like, I don't even know what it's called, but you know.
Yeah, where you sort of like do that little hand motion thing.
Yes.
You're like,
I didn't want to do it and embarrass myself. Like, you know, when they do the facial expressions. All I'm thinking right now is if I try to mimic these characters, my sisters are going to make fun of me when they watch this. So I'm not going to. But yeah, they have the hands and.
Yeah, where it's like a
Great day for
it's just,
fishing.
yeah,
Great day
right.
for fishing.
Yeah, so
wow.
You feel like a clown today because you got up and went to work.
Every day there's a new way to make money. And every day I'm like, I should try it out. But I just can't do it.
Same. One of these days.
Oh my gosh. If you send us emojis, we will say something and you can pay us. Yeah. I don't know what. Within reason. I'll say ice cream's so good 1,800 times if you want me to. Jeez.
And one more thing to get through before we really get into our show today. Yes. If you're doing some of your summer travel, which we know a lot of people are, taken to the skies. Yes. How do you like that window seat?
I only sit in window seats if I can.
I love the window seat.
Love it.
But we just learned something about that window seat.
Which it was so, the way it was written was just so crazy. It's this headline and it says, you know, sitting in the window seat could trigger like early aging or something like that. And
they'll do anything to make us buy anti-aging products.
These were the reactions. I was like, Leah, no! And Leah's like, oh my God. But yeah, apparently because of the UV, you're closer to the sun, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to be packing now wet wipes and sunscreen when I board a plane. Even if I'm going
it makes
somewhere
sense.
Dark.
I understand. You are flying closer to the sun, but you're not like sticking your face out the window. I know. Like, you've got the shade. Like it's not. And I feel like if you only travel, you know, by plane once, maybe twice every year, every other year, like it can't be that bad.
It can't be that bad. But no. I do get a little claustrophobic on planes. That's why I like the window seat. I don't like the aisle because I feel like if I can't see outside, it kind of freaks me out. Yeah. So as long as I can window seat it up, I'm flying a Velo this month in Wilmington. So you'll see me rubbing down my seat, getting my neck pillow on, and sunscreen.
I feel like every other aspect of the plane also ages you. It ages you emotionally to sit crunched up in those chairs. It's everybody's kind of grumpy. You get up, every bone in your body cracks. You sound like a glow stick or cereal. You're
those first class flyers are like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God, I know. And as you walk past them, you see like the blankets left in the seats, and the seats are huge, and you're like,
their leg room, and you're like, that would be nice.
Yeah, so I think every other aspect ages you faster on a plane than the UV lights in the window seat.
Yes. So if you're worried about that, like I am, just bring your sunscreen, bring some SPF on the plane with you, and I guess if you travel a lot, it could be a good thing to know about.
Yes, but also if you are worried about that, we've got a solution for you too.
We do. So excited. Today on Coast Life, we are introducing you to Face of Grace. They practice safe sun all the time. They're going to help you with any skin questions or problems you have.
And we know that our friends at the Lewis Library are always up to something. We're going to dive a little deeper into what's going on with them later on the show.
And we mentioned earlier, it's the Delaware State Fair. It's in full swing. We're talking to you about what you're most excited for. Don't go anywhere. Coast Life will be right back. You're watching Coast Life, and right now we're going to talk about something everyone has. We're talking about insecurities.
Yes, unfortunately. We all have them.
We do. And that's why it's okay. This is a safe, open space. We're going to talk about it. I've told you guys before, insecurity, my skin, 100%. That is why I was so happy to learn about Face of Grace. They are in Lewis, and they will sit down with you, talk about any problems, concerns you have with your skin. They will take care of it right then and there. So take a look at Face of Grace.
And we do a double cleanse because
Valine Hathaway understands the struggle that can be skin. She's been through it herself. That's why she started Face of Grace, a holistic skincare studio to help others feel confident in their own skin.
I had done the dermatologists, peels, I had run the gamut on everything. And it wasn't until I found a more holistic approach that really spoke to me, that made sense of an inside-outside approach to skin. And once I learned more about the skin and this approach, I realized that this is something I could also help other people with because there's so much information out there. It's so confusing and overwhelming. So I try to really walk my clients through understanding their skin.
Start by covering your eyes and taking a closer look at your skin. And then we're going to do a double cleanse. And we do a double cleanse because you cannot both remove your makeup and cleanse your skin with a one-step cleanse.
She's going to get to know you and your skin concerns first. Then when you walk in, you'll be greeted by pudding. Then Baleen will get to work with a fully customized facial just for you.
The facials are all 75 minutes. They are all custom. I have a new facial called the Orange Crush, which is a play off of the local drink that we have around here. It uses one of two very distinct serums that are both orange in color, and we can work on anything from pigmentation to scarring to active breakouts.
Take my word for it, it's relaxing.
I focus on barrier health, and so what that means is you're not going to find any aggressive chemical peels, nothing that's going to harm the outermost layer of your skin, which the outermost layer of your skin is actually very important to skin health, skin function. It's what will keep you youthful, so we like to keep that intact. So that's a big part of my approach to skincare. Your skin is your largest organ. It's the only organ that you really see and interact with on a daily basis. So we tend to beat it up a little more than we should.
And she's going to make sure you have the tools and the knowledge to keep up with your skincare and practice safe sun even after you leave.
We have vitamin D receptors all over our body for a reason. And we live at the beach, right? So it's all about understanding how to get in your sun while also taking care of your skin. So getting it in the morning, wearing your SPF during the day, seeking shade. So it's really about understanding the lifestyle around how to, live and enjoy where we live, but also take care of your skin.
I like to finish with a cool towel just to settle the skin.
Oh, I love it. It feels good. Begin to tell you guys how amazing that facial was. I feel so refreshed, and I've told you before about my own insecurities with my skin, and leaving here today I feel a lot more confident. And do not forget, every day on Coast to Be News today and Coast to Be News at 11, you will get the UV index for the day and for the week. It's brought to you by Face of Grace, so you too can practice safe sun. Don't go anywhere. We have more Coast Life on the way.
You're watching Coast Life, and you know we love to keep you entertained in all kinds of ways, whether that's with a good book, a good movie, or so much more. That's why here on the Coast Life couch is Jen Noonan with the Lewis Library. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks so much for having me today.
Thank you so much for coming in, because the Lewis Public Library always has so much going on, but we've had a lot of new people move to the area recently. So maybe for folks who don't know yet, just tell us a little bit about the Lewis Public Library, sort of in a general sense.
Okay, well, the Lewis Public Library is not what you imagine a stereotypical old school library to be. We are a modern 21st century library. We're a place where people can gather. It's not just a place to get books, but a place to come learn about things, a place to connect with others in your community. It's really a hub of activity in Lewis.
Yeah, and I think one thing that people tend to underestimate about libraries in general is that it's really one of the last places you can exist for free.
Absolutely. I mean, there are no strings attached. Come on in, a library card is free. Anything that you participate in there is free, and it's free just to hang out. You can be there from the time we open until the time we close, and nobody's going to ask you to buy anything.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, we don't see a lot of that anymore.
No.
So not only is it beautiful from the outside, when people walk into the Lewis Library, what are some of the things that they might see?
Well, gosh, when you first walk in, you're going to see our friend shop on the left, which, the Friends of the Lewis Public Library does a lot of fundraising for us. They purchase all of our books, and they pay for all of our programs. And we have a little shop there. If you want to take home something for keeps, whether that's a book or whether it's a gift, they're right there. And then you come up to our adult section where we have our new books, we have DVDs and audiobooks, and right up in the front of the library as well is where the youth services is. We have our teen tech suite and our teen library, and then of course the children's library where I work.
That's awesome, and there really is, there's so much, a little something for everybody. Like nobody's gonna walk away empty-handed at the Lewis Public Library. So I think you really have programs for all ages, and you have content for all ages. So tell us a little bit about maybe some of the books. I think magazines is another thing that you guys have that people might not think of. What are maybe some of the unexpected things that people might find in the library?
Yeah, I mean, not only do we have books, so you can come on in and find your favorite or something new, but you can check out magazines just the way that you can check out books for 3 weeks at a time. But you can also access those digitally online through our app called Flipster. Not just books, but we actually have a library of things, and you can check out a jigsaw puzzle, you can check out a board game. We also have Wi-Fi hotspots and Chromebooks if you need to do work or work on projects and you don't have access to those things.
Yeah.
Those are all the things we have there.
Yeah, it's a great resource. Now, it's sort of a cool thing that I actually didn't know that we were talking about just before we sat down and turned the cameras on. I didn't know that you needed a specific degree to be a librarian. So you guys really have specified knowledge in what you do. You're truly experts in almost all kinds of knowledge. Tell me just a little bit about that.
Well, you know, you do need a master's in libraries to be a librarian. We have 3 certified librarians at the Lewis Public Library, and all of our staff is incredibly well trained. They all have something special that they do. We have, you know, someone who specializes in teaching people how to use computers, how to use email if they don't. We have people who specialize in, you know, graphic design. I mean, we have all sorts of help, whether you're looking for a job or whether you're looking, you know, for the best price on chicken in town this week. I mean, everybody's got something special. But yes, we do have specialized knowledge, especially to use with databases and research.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And I think it's how would you encourage people who maybe, you know, don't know that you have all of this stuff to come out and join you at the library?
I would say, you know, check out our online calendar. You can, you know, as soon as you get to the website, you can hit the calendar of events. There is something for everyone. There's, we have author talks, we have STEM programs for kids, we have art programs for kids and for adults, we have performances. You know, there's really something for everybody. There's teen movies, there's book clubs. I would say, you know, check out the online calendar, sign up for the newsletter.
Yeah.
We send out a newsletter once a month that lists all of the activities and all of the things that we're doing, all of the resources that we have, and that's a great way to tap in. And just come visit us.
Awesome. Well, Jen, as the wealth of knowledge that a librarian is, there's more going on at the Lewis Public Library, so don't go anywhere. We're going to dive into a little bit more of that when we get back. Told you just before the break that the Lewis Public Library always has so much going on, whether it's the contents inside the library or it's the activities that they're running. So Jen Nuna didn't go anywhere. She's still here on the COASTLIFE couch with us to tell us a little bit more about some of those activities, because there really is so much going on all the time. And I mean, I don't ever want to wish time away, but summer is cruising, but there's still a little bit left of summer, and you guys still have a lot going on.
There is still plenty to do at the library for all ages. We're coming up towards the end of our summer reading program, but we still have summer reading performances next week on Thursday at 10:30. We have Talewise. They do wonderful storytelling with science experiments, so that's really fun. Our garden story time and our historic Lewis Farmers Market story time and our regular story times will continue all through the end of the summer. Yeah. But we'll be wrapping up summer reading with the tweens with the Precision Paint gaming truck on August 1st, which will be really fun. Whole trailer full of video games, so that's always a big hit. We will also be having a party for, you know, the younger kids where they can come and pick out a book to take home for keeps for doing their summer reading.
Yay.
And we have new things coming up for other age groups. We've got new millennial programming coming up.
Very
so
cool.
That's anybody sort of like in that mid-20s to late 30s range.
Peak millennial right here.
We've got a new program called Pints and Pages, where you'll be able to talk about books, but also sample some of the great brewery offerings that we have in the area, and we have so many.
Yes.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's coming up.
I gotta let Paige know, because we talk about books together all the time. You said you also had a writers conference coming up.
Yep, there's a big writers conference coming up in August. That's something that we've been doing for years. And the teens also have a Shakespeare intensive coming up in August. So there's still plenty of things to do this summer at the library.
Yeah, so how can people who maybe want to get involved in sort of leading some of these programs get involved?
Well, I would say come and show your interest. I know a lot of the teen programs really are teen-led. Because teens want to hang out with teens.
That makes sense.
It's a wonderful way for them to have, an experience with some leadership. So especially for teens, you can come and take a part in the Teen Advisory Board and get involved that way and, find what your niche is.
Yeah, yeah. I know we talked about how, summer is winding down and you have those summer reading programs. I was one of those kids that fought tooth and nail about summer reading. It was hard. It was hard to stay focused, or it was hard to get into the book that the school had you read. So how do you kind of keep kids, maybe from elementary through high school, interested in that summer reading?
Okay, so true story, I as a kid did not like to read. I really didn't. I mean, it's not really important to me that you love reading. It's important to me that you can read.
Yes.
Okay? And everybody will find what it is that excites them, that they want to learn more about, and that's really what you should do in the summer. All year long, someone is telling you I have to read if you're in school. In the summer, read what you want. If you want to read comics, read comics. If you want to read Sports Illustrated, read Sports Illustrated. If you want to read the instruction manual for putting together flat pack furniture, do that. I don't care. Find something that interests you. And even, visit an old friend. Read that, favorite book that you had in second grade. Even if you've read it 3 times, it's like visiting an old friend. Anything to keep your brain engaged is fine by me. And I hope that it's fine by the rest of the adults in their lives.
It should be. Well, and it's so funny because like you said, and like I said, I wasn't much of a reader as a kid. I didn't enjoy it the way that I do now as an adult. And it really was in probably my mid-20s that I started to fall back in love with reading by reading fantasy books. I know the ACOTAR series is really popular right now, and that's one that I fell head over heels in love with. And now I've got this huge backlog of books that I haven't read because I'm always picking up something new. And so it really is kind of special, I think, like you said, to sort of fall in love with an old friend again when you visit a genre that you haven't read in a long time.
Exactly. And really just to take the pressure off and, allow yourself to experiment. And it's okay if you don't finish a book.
Pick up a book. The guilt.
if you read, a chapter and you're not into it, it's okay. Life is too short, Just I wish that we could take the pressure off of reading for kids and let them just read what they want, whatever it is. Even if you think it's silly, even if you think it's bathroom humor, it's all a stage. They're going to grow out of it. They're not going to still be reading Captain Underpants in college. I promise.
It's a classic. Well, Jen, thank you so much for coming in and sharing about these programs and all that the Lewis Public Library has going on. And I mean, like you said, there's a lot of stuff that, yes, it's specific to the Lewis Public Library, but also many libraries throughout Delaware.
All of the libraries have wonderful programming in the summer, and our 35 public libraries are all together in a consortium with the Delaware libraries, and there are so many resources available to the entire state as a result. That's our online, our digital stuff, like our digital magazines, our digital audiobooks, all of these things transfer across libraries. You can pick up a book at Lewis and return it at Milton if you want, or vice versa. Or if we don't have a book that you want and Hockessin does, we can have it sent down for you. And even things from the Library of Things, games, puzzles, these things we all share, and so everyone should take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, I didn't even know that. I feel like I'm always learning in real time here on Coast Life. Well, Jen, thanks again for coming in. Where can people get maybe a little bit more information if they're still looking?
If you're still looking, you can hit our website at lewis.lib.de.us.
Perfect. And there's, again, endless knowledge when you see any of the Delaware libraries, but we love our friends at the Lewis Public Library. Well, don't go anywhere because we've got more Coast Life headed your way.
Here on Coast Life, we love telling you about some fun things to do, especially when you can do good, have fun doing it. That's why today we have Tony with us from the Blood Bank of Delmarva. Tony, thank you for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Great to be on Coast Life. It's a great new show. I feel like I've hit the big time. It's great to be here.
You have. You can just stay here all day, Tony.
Exactly. But we are talking about something really cool. You've probably heard of it, Blood for a Brew. It's exactly what it sounds like. Okay? Yep. So Tony, though, I'm going to have you explain it. Blood for a Brew, tell us about this.
So Blood for a Brew, this is the 3rd year we're doing it, and it's a play off the old Pint for a Pint theme that you've seen blood centers do from time to time. And it's a partnership with about a dozen or so breweries, and we call it the Summer of Fun. I mean, this allows us to park our Bloodmobile right outside the establishment of these lovely, popular breweries where people can donate blood, and when they're done, our phlebotomists always tell you, have something good to eat, and hydrate after donating blood. And you can go right into one of these breweries and eat lunch or dinner, depending on the time. A lot of them are noon to 6, so some of them are earlier, some of them are later. And so Blood for a Brew is a fun concept that we came up with 3 years ago, and we kept it going because some of the numbers, I'd be happy to tell you, have been remarkable for us.
It is a really incredible thing that you do.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's doing good while having fun at the same time. Yeah. So why are events like Blood for a Brew so important to the Blood Bank of Delmarva?
That's a great question. So here we are, it's the middle of the summertime, and what happens in the summer? The school's out, right? Yeah. And the kids love it, and we all love it. It's time to go to the beach. Well, we need to make up for the 25% shortfall in blood collections that happens when the high schools and colleges are no longer running the drives. And also, Blood for a Brew was designed specifically to get a younger audience to come in and donate blood that maybe necessarily didn't donate blood. And it's fascinating. When we looked at the numbers the last couple of years, we actually saw between a 25 to 40% increase in first-time donors, people that had never donated blood before, but because we had partnered with the breweries, they said, hey, I'm going to give this a chance. Yeah. So, I mean, it worked out. And another fascinating statistic we saw was the average age of the donor compared to other mobile blood drives and people that come in to see us at a donor center was 10 years younger. Wow. So we feel like we kind of hit the mark in trying to market this to young folks like yourselves to donate blood. Because a lot of our donors are older, and we have to think about how do we replace them, kind of like a farm system.
Yeah, sure.
When people retire, maybe they take medication that they can't, that precludes them from donating blood. And so it was a win-win all around, and I can't say enough for the breweries that have partnered with us. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that for all 3 years, TD Bank has been the sponsor. I mean, that's what you call a responsible corporate citizen, giving back to the community. And the breweries, I'm going to take a peek on my phone. I apologize,
but
there's a lot of them. And next week we're going to be at Crooked Hammock in Lewis. We were just at the Middletown location, and they knocked it out of the park as usual. 34 donors.
Great.
We're going to be at Stewart's Brewing. That's upstate in Bear, July 27th. Fifth Company Brewing is a new one in August. Big Oyster Brewery. They held a blood drive already in June, but they're going to do a second one like they always do in August 22nd, and they always, it's always sold out.
Nice.
I mean, Big Oyster Brewery, I mean, they bring their A game. And just down the street here, Dogfish Head, Dogfish Head, August 29th and 30th. They always do their brewery, their blood drives back to back. And Miss Pillion joined the fold for September 1st, and Volunteer Brewing September 8th. That's up in Middletown. And I also want to mention this started off in May. The tradition is to start it off at Revelation Beer Garden, also right here in Milton, Delaware. And that was a wonderful event. Another sold-out blood drive, and there was some good food and some good music that day from the Tipsy Flamingo truck, and Revelation was serving up beverages. And so we're here in the middle of the summer, and we're just trying to keep the momentum going with Blood for a Brew, because we were talking earlier about the paramedics now carrying O positive whole blood out in the field, and they're saving lives. I mean, they can now transfuse people, whether it's Sussex County or Newcastle County, in the field before you get to the hospital, and it's making a difference. And I'm happy to say that none of the units that we supply to them have expired. They have used them, and we have replaced them in a timely fashion. And so, look, if you've never donated blood before, you might be one of those O positive donors that can help out. That can help out the paramedics in their mission. So.
I get a lot of phone calls from the blood bank of Delmarva.
I bet you do.
Are you a positive?
I am a positive.
Congratulations. You are #1 in America.
I know. I feel like I won some sort of prize whenever I say that. Yes. But once I found that out, that's actually when I started donating. I was always kind of nervous to donate, and then I started donating with the blood bank, and it's so much easier than I thought it would be. And you get a granola bar or a beer afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, and it really is a simple way to save lives. I mean, for maybe people who haven't donated blood before, how important is that donation?
It is. You know, we have a couple platelet donors, Robert Moley and Eric Mayer. They're heavyweights. I mean, these guys have donated platelets more than 470 times.
Wow.
And if you count the plasma, I mean, it's like gallons and gallons and gallons that they've donated. But Robert Moley puts it as he's a munitions factory, and he's giving platelets and plasma that arms the doctors with something in the toolkit that is precious. We only can get blood from people donating. You know, it's not something that these scientists in the fancy white lab coats can manufacture. You know, despite all the advancements that we've made in the 21st century, we're far from creating a substitute for blood. So, you know, it takes folks like yourself, like myself. I donate blood to you know, do this charitable act that means a lot to the cancer, the burn patients, the sickle cell anemia patients, and all the other people that, you know, they might have been doing a routine surgery and then suddenly they started, you know, losing blood and they needed a transfusion to replace that blood. You just never know. And it's not easy to convince people to get a needle stuck in their arm, but hey, you know what? When you partner with these breweries and make it a little more fun, you can get places, you know, as the number suggests.
Definitely, yeah. Just grab a friend, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, if you end up not liking it, you gave blood and you're like, I don't want to do that, you get a beer out of it. And you saved a life, too. So you really can't, it can't hurt.
It's a win-win.
Exactly. You just go before happy hour, you'll be good. Yes. Well, thank you, Tony, so much for being here. Definitely for giving us that list. And if people need a reminder of those breweries, where can they find it?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. Just go to delmarvablood.org/brew. That'll tell you all the breweries that have been participating and the ones that are coming up next week in July and also beyond in August and September. So that's a great way to see everybody. delmarvablood.org/brew. Thanks for asking.
Of course, yep, you got it. Yeah, check it out and mark your calendars. Right now, though, don't go anywhere. We have a lot more fun and events to talk about coming up on Coast Life.
Along coastal Delmarva, we see all kinds of caliber of talent from the local stage to national stages. That's why if you're a big fan of America's Got Talent, you may recognize the face and voice of Terry Fader. Katie Zerilli from our sister show, Delmarva Life, got a chance to chat with him via Zoom about details for his upcoming show at the Roland E. Powell Convention Center this Sunday night.
From the entertainment capital of the world to Ocean City, Maryland, America's Got Talent Season 2 winner Terry Fader is headed to Delmarva.
So I'm bringing my Las Vegas show right there into the area, and it's going to be very exciting.
This Sunday, July 23rd, folks will pack the Roland E. Powell Convention Center for a multifaceted show. Terry Fader on the road again combines ventriloquism, music, and uncanny celebrity impressions.
You're going to see comedy. You're going to see Winston, the impersonating turtle. Right. And we have lots of other puppets. Wait, you have puppets? Yeah, I love puppets. Well, you should. So we have lots of puppets, different characters. And what I do is I do impressions of singers, impersonations of singers without moving my lips. Really? Would you do it? Watch this. And my love is coming on. That's amazing.
As you can see, Terry's prepared and pumped, as is his puppet.
I'm feeling good. Doesn't matter what the weather is. I have a shell. Right.
And after seeing this spectacle, chances are you will be too.
And my show is really that thing that you want to come to where you just forget about all your troubles for an hour and a half. You leave feeling like a child again, which is what we all do.
This kind of career was one Terry dreamed of since he was a boy. Hard to believe it's been more than 15 years since that dream came true in the biggest way.
It feels like it was just yesterday. And then I've lived 3 lifetimes since then. It's crazy how much has happened since America's Got Talent. But I'm just living my life and living the dream. And my job is to bring joy and love to people in the world. And so I hope that you'll feel it. When you leave, you're going to feel a lot of joy. Yeah, and it's all because of me. Well, I would not disagree with that.
Are you the better singer or is Winston the better singer?
Well, of course, I'm a better singer. You know, and that actually is an interesting question. There are some things that I can sing better without moving my lips. Wait, what? You sing without moving your lip? Yeah, I got to see that. Well, you'll see it sometime. But so what we do is there are some songs, but most songs, especially the songs that are in the higher keys, those are much easier for me to sing. So in some ways, if he's singing the right song, yeah, it's easier for him and better for, and he's better. And other times I'm better. But, you know, I do say you do a better Bocelli than I do.
Yeah, thank you. And you'll get to see me sing Bocelli in Ocean City.
By now, you're probably inspired to buy tickets to this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Get tickets to come see me and see us, right? See, I'm sorry, I said me. That was rude. To come and see us in Ocean City, you're going to see a lot of different characters. Elvis, the world's greatest Elvis impersonator, Vicky the Cougar, the coolest puppet, the sexiest puppet. There's so much fun to be had. My annoying neighbor will be there too, and he's awesome.
A star-studded squad that'll leave you giddy and giggling.
Thank you, Katie. And here's something you may not know. Terry Fader also donates lots of proceeds from his shows to military, first responders, and other charities. Tickets to the show are still available. Don't go anywhere. There's more Coast Life on the way. One of our favorite things about summertime is here on Delmarva, the Delaware State Fair. And we want to know what some of your favorite parts of the Delaware State Fair, because there's a lot to choose from. There's so much entertainment. There's so much amazing food to try. Paige, what's one of your favorite things about the Delaware State Fair?
Funnel cakes. And I always love the lineup of entertainment. They always have good performers.
Yeah, I love the demo derby. I don't know what it is about the demo derby, but I love it. There's something about people crashing old cars into each other that I'm just like, yes.
If I've been to it, that would be my favorite.
Real life bumper cars. Well, then maybe we got to carve that out this year. But
the pig races.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the pig races.
Because there's a pig called Kim Kardashian Ham, and it gets me every time. Yes.
As you can see, there's so much to love about the Delaware State Fair. That's why our field correspondent, Maya Henry, is checking out what you love most about the State Fair.
Today, I'm at a very familiar place on the Delmarva coast, the Delaware State Fair in Harrington, Delaware, which is not only known for their great food, great music, and great concerts, but has people from all over the coast. And today, I'm going to ask them what they love about the Delaware State Fair. All right, Paige and Leah, I'm here with Miss Ingrid. So Miss Ingrid, you are here with your beautiful family, your grandkids, your daughter. What are you guys looking most forward to at the Delaware State Fair?
Just the rides for the kids and enjoying the animals and just a beautiful day.
What is your favorite food at the Delaware State Fair?
The funnel cakes with the Oreos, because they put all the stuff on top of it. It's really good.
So far, my granddaughter came from New Jersey to see the fair.
Okay.
And she loves the lemonade.
I'm gonna say the turkey leg stand, for sure.
Okay, what's so good about the turkey leg?
I don't know, I just like eating.
And she's gonna go see some pig rides and gonna ride a camel.
What have you guys done so far?
We saw the piggy races. We're gonna wait for the rides to open. We're gonna go see the camel show and just walk around and see where we're at and what we're doing.
And we're gonna go some rides.
Okay.
And we're gonna have a lot of fun. Maybe she'll win some goldfish or something.
Okay.
She's gonna enjoy herself. That's the best thing about enjoying family.
Well, I kind of love the 4-H. You know, I used to do that as a kid, and so I'm really looking forward to getting down and seeing some of the animals.
Why do you love the Delaware State Fair?
Actually, it's my first time. Oh my God. So I'm gonna say when we leave here, I'm gonna love it.
All right. Do you think you will come back next year?
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you're looking forward to, or at least you've heard that's so great about the Delaware State Fair?
Like the shows, like the concerts.
Yes.
The concerts are supposed to be amazing. Country singers and rock stars.
Is there anything else that you would love to say to the camera today, Rob?
I would say welcome Delaware State Fair. We're having a great time here.
Guys, we have heard so many great things about the Delaware State Fair in Harrington, which means you need to stop by and come on over. There's more Coast Life on the way.
Coast Life, we have a little bit left for you before we let you go, but it is almost time to wrap up for the week.
Yes, and remember to check your Barbie doll collection maybe if you got one still at home, because of the Barbie movie, Barbie dolls are going up in price, especially if you have those like 80s, 90s dolls.
That's right. And hey, if you see Barbie this weekend, We're going to go, but I don't think we're going to like Sunday. So just give us a little like thumbs up, middle, thumbs down if you see it. Okay, we want to know how you liked it.
And your fits. We want to see the outfits.
Please, that is so real. Please send us your outfits. And if you're traveling, remember we talked about it earlier, put some SPF on if you have a window seat on that plane, if you care.
Yes. And then I know today we kind of talked about your favorite things about the Delaware State Fair. There's a lot to choose from. But coming up on Monday, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the specifics of what's going on at the State Fair. Because there's a lot of concerts, there's a lot of events, a lot of activities. So we want to make sure you've got the best option to plan your schedule for what's going to work for you.
Yes, if you're going this weekend, bring some water, a hat, sunscreen, take care of yourself.
The whole thing.
It's hot out there,